Judge Jackson, welcome. It's really good to see you again. Any nomination to the court is historic. Judge Jackson, you know, with your presence here today, you are writing a new page in the history of America, a good page. Who the president nominates and the Senate decides to confirm to our federal judiciary, and especially our nation's highest court, that's extremely important. The American people, our constituents, and their faith in the courts, that's central to our democracy. But we had before us a nominee who has brought us together across party lines before. Let's make a few things clear. Judge Jackson is no judicial activist. She is not a puppet of the so-called radical left. She's been praised by Republican-appointed judges for her jurisprudence. Lawyers from the right and the left who have appeared before her in court have called her judicious and even-handed. Before I was in the Senate, I tried a lot of cases in trial court and then courts of appeal. That's what I wanted, somebody who was judicious and even-handed. I didn't care what their politics were. Who the president nominates and the Senate decides to confirm to our federal judiciary, years of so-called judicial wars have left Americans feeling like our courts have become increasingly partisan. The extreme interests of pressure groups on both sides of the political spectrum have left the American people wondering if they can get a fair shake in our courts. And yet, in this moment, we have before us a unique opportunity to change that narrative. I'm under no illusion that we can mend this process overnight. But we have before us a nominee who has brought us together across party lines before. The arc of our democracy, the arc that bends towards justice, as Dr. King once said. Her nomination is a reflection of the arc of our democracy, the arc that bends towards justice, as Dr. King once said. Although in fits and starts with every generation, we have sought to become more inclusive, more representative. We have looked at citizens, civic leaders, elected representatives, and yes, to judges to strengthen our democracy. We have before us an historic moment, and I hope we can meet it as senators. So I look forward to your testimony. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Leahy. Next is another former chair of the committee and senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have said in the past, and I think it's good for the court to look like America, so count me in on the idea of making the court more diverse. And in the history of our country, we've never had an African-American woman serve on the court. But I also said, that didn't get much coverage, I want the court to play a particular role in America. One is make it more look like the country, but also make it operate in the confines of the Constitution. That didn't get a lot of coverage. So the hearings are going to be challenging for you, informative for the public, and respectful by us. I hope we can meet those criteria. It won't be a circus. We're off to a good start. Chairman Grassley couldn't get the first word out of his mouth before they shut down the place, so that's off to a good start. Most of us couldn't go back to our offices during Kavanaugh without getting spit on. Hope that doesn't happen to y'all. I don't think it will. Nobody's going to do that to you, and that's a good thing. It's going to be a couple of interesting days, and we're off to a better start than we have been in the past. And the one thing I can promise you, you will not be vilified, you will not be attacked for your religious views, you will not be accused of something that you could not defend yourself against until it was too late. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Graham.
Because I think the court would be better off if the judges stood up for the court.